to the Russell County Board of Supervisors meeting on September the 5th, 2023 at 6 p.m. at the Russell County Government Center, the Board of Supervisors room. I'd like to first start off with call of order and roll call. Tim Lovelace.
Here.
Carl Ray.
Here.
David E.
Here.
Steve Reed.
Here.
Rebecca Dye.
Here.
Horace Christian.
Present.
Lou Ed Wallace.
Here.
Ma'am, you have a quorum.
Thank you, sir. At this time, I will ask you to please rise for the invocation and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let us pray. Father God, Lord, we love you, we thank you, and we praise you today, Father. Father, forgive us for where we fail you each and every day, and thank you for allowing us to be a part of our local government, Father. Help us be more like you each and every day, for it's in your name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. At this time, I will ask for approval of the agenda, please.
Madam Chair, I make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
I'll second it.
Thank you. And everyone has the amendments that we made to the agenda, right, Mr. Lester?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we don't need any new ones. All right, I'll call for the vote. All in favor? Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. At this time, we're moving into the presentation phase of this meeting. And Debbie, are you here for Debbie? I didn't recognize you, Debbie. Okay. I was going to skip you. At this time, Cumberland Plateau will be doing a presentation on the Dank Sewer Supplemental Grant. Charlie Perkins.
Yes, this is Charlie Perkins. Sorry about that. And no worries. I should have called ahead and let y'all know. My name is Charlie Perkins. I'm a planner with the Cumberland Plateau Planning District Commission. I'm here today because this is a public hearing for the Dank Regional Sewer Project, also known as Dank to St. Paul Sewer, or simply the Dank Sewer Project. This project has the support of Russell County, the Russell County PSA, and the town of St. Paul. In the mid-1990s, Russell County acquired substantial federal and state loan and grant funding to construct the Dank sewer system, including a new sewage treatment plant. Since then, the need for public sewer service downstream has been documented to address water quality and public health problems along Lick Creek. Furthermore, the existing wastewater treatment plant has aged significantly and has become costly to maintain. By closing the aging Dank wastewater treatment plant, extending the existing system, and connecting it with the St. Paul system, new households can be connected to the system while keeping operation and maintenance costs down and while also maintaining affordable rates. This project will not only provide wastewater services to households in the area, thus eliminating one major barrier to economic development efforts in any given region, but it will also improve water quality along Lick Creek, a major tributary of the Clinch River, which has recently gained state park status and is a major recreational asset. The project's description, to be specific, it will result in the interconnection of the existing Dank wastewater sewer treatment, or the wastewater system, along with the existing St. Paul wastewater system, by extending the Dank system along State Route 63 through the communities of Sun, Hamlin, and Hanging Rock, providing public sewer accessibility to households along that corridor while creating 12 new residential connections. Approximately 30 low to moderate income individuals and 13 low to moderate income households will benefit from the project with either new or improved sewer service. No displacement should occur from this project. This project has already received funding, grant funding from the Virginia Department of Housing and Community Development during the 2021 Community Development Block Grant Cycle. That award provided $2.5 million of CDBG funding to complement $150,000 from Russell County and an additional $150,000 from the Southwest Virginia Water and Wastewater Fund. Due to skyrocketing material costs in the wake of pandemic-induced inflation, this project is unable to begin construction without first acquiring additional funding. Virginia DHCD has made available additional grant funding for infrastructure projects that were previously funded by CDBG but are unable to proceed due to inflated construction costs. And that's the reason for me being here. Russell County intends to apply for $1 million of supplemental infrastructure project funding, which will cover the vast majority of the additional construction costs. At this time, I'll open the floor to public comments. If you need any other information, also feel free. I'll provide my contact information to Mr. Lester if you want to email me or give me a call or anything like that.
Anyone wishing to speak concerning the Dane to St. Paul sewer and the supplemental grant needed to make this happen?
Charlie, this is just basically because of the inflation, materials shot at, labor charges and such.
That's correct, Steve. Yeah, this project has already been ongoing. We're actually getting ready to put it out to bid as soon as we can. So,
Everybody's,
yeah, it's more or less just, hey, we need a little bit more money.
We had a previous meeting on this too, and during the meeting with PSA and Cumberland Plateau, the new estimates on materials, and just like everything else we're building, everything has went up. So Cumberland Plateau was more kind enough to, approach this supplemental grant to be able to pick up the cost of inflation. So kudos to Cumberland Plateau.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
you need any kind of motion?
No, this is just the public hearing comment.
I'll leave my contact information with Lawnsville if anyone needs to reach out. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Charlie.
Thank you very much. My friends in Sun, Virginia will be delighted to know that they are still getting sewer. Next on the presentation list is Missy Carter, Community Workforce Program. Missy?
Okay. For those that might not know me, I'm Missy Carter, and I am the director of the Community Work Program here in Russell County, as well as the drug court program that we have in Russell County. One thing that I know everybody likes to hear about is the numbers, the money part of this, and that's not what I'm going to talk about today, though, because it's not the most important part to me. Oh, you started too soon. I'm not ready.
You tell me.
I will. Some things that I wanted to tell y'all about before you see the presentation is some of the things that we have added to our program over the past year and a half. Now we have partnered with Southwest Regional Adult Education and the State Probation Office, and we're able to offer GED classes for people in the program that might need their GED, as well as basic computer skills. And we have one day set aside a week that the people that need those services go to the probation office, and the teachers come in and take care of those issues as we need those. Another couple things that they're able to do is we've had several people that have went through the welding certification program at Southwest and have secured employment at places like Samuel here in town. We have several that have went through Safe Serve certification as well as Flagger certifications. And our goal is to try to, while we have people structured and sober and in a good place, we're trying to have those job skills in line so that they can go straight into the workforce when they're through with us. We have also added some treatment for their issues that they may have in-house. I was certified to do MRT treatment, and we have a class once a week that everybody that comes through the program now is required to do, and that it's been successful as well. My staff with the work program, Hyder and Bob, they are awesome, and they offer a lot of just everyday skills, things that we take for granted, just like how to talk, how to have a conversation with somebody in a job setting, or to help with resumes and things like that. All of us try to, whatever these individuals may need, we all work together to try to help those people meet those goals. Another thing that we have here in the county that we didn't have before is the recovery houses. They have been crucial to both programs in getting greater numbers, because some of the people in drug court their home life, they're not able to go back to that in the drug court program because it is so strict. So we are able to put them at the recovery houses until they're able to save up and get their own place. And we've saw a lot of success with this, as well as with the work program. And in these packets I gave you, it's several letters from people all through the community that they've written, not about me, not about my staff, it's about the workers and how respectful they are and what good work they do. And I'm very proud of that, and I want you all to be as proud of that as I am. So I thought you might like to read these letters. In the presentation that we're going to see, I put a copy of one of the slides in here because it'll be hard to read up there, but the Department of Health predicts this year alone that 3 times more people will die of drug overdose than in car accidents. And 2 times more people will die of gunshots than, 2 times more people will die of drug overdose than gunshots. I think that's one of the goals of what we're trying to do here is to make a difference, to keep those numbers down here in Russell County. And now you can click start.
taught me that I am capable of a lot more than I thought I was, and that I can overcome adversity without using crutches.
That was one of the participants that said that. Another thing that I wanted to point out is with our drug court program, we are able to secure a grant each year for about $90,000 that pays for our drug testing that we use with drug court, as well as Mike Stoops that does all the supervision of the drug court cases. These three guys, I couldn't make it without them. Every day they are on top of everything, and they do such a great job and makes my life a lot easier. But I think overall we have a good thing going, and we appreciate you guys for always supporting us. And if you have any questions, I can answer them.
Well, I'd like to say you'll always have my support. This has been outstanding, and your presentation of the part that changes lives is the most critical thing. And I think all your staff and everybody, I see them out quite frequently and working with those people that need this help, and I believe in second chances.
Absolutely.
And I absolutely, you will always have my support. I do know that since you all launched this program, the other counties have followed your lead, and that should show a lot for what you've done and what you've committed to do, and I really appreciate it.
I think we have assisted 9 other counties in starting a work program. And Smith County, I think after election time, is also they're planning to start one as well. So.
Thank you so very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
You see, I think back about that first year, and I look at these numbers, and it's pretty darn good for $75,000 investment.
Oh, yeah. It was scary.
Really good, really good. And the numbers speak for themselves. The thing that you're doing, a lot of these people, I know, I've seen they've been in trouble, and they're fairly young people. They've never really had an opportunity to learn how to work. And I think you're teaching them how to work. And you're trying, and you're showing them that there's dignity in what they do, regardless of what they do. There's dignity. I really like the life skills teaching. I've often thought that should be a requirement to teach them. Computer skills are great, just how to communicate with people, and how to fill out applications, balance a checkbook, that's just things of that nature. The only thing, I love your numbers, and I've been asking for these, I've been bugging Alonzo about them. The only thing that I'd like to see, because I'm kind of a numbers guy, is the total number of people in your program each year.
Okay.
And I know you've got
I
that,
do have it.
calculate the cost,
Yeah.
and the total hours worked each year. Because I think that, just
Well,
knowing the number of people that you serve
Right.
is
I have that actually. I just try not to busy this
Yeah,
form up.
yeah.
But like for example, with the community service hours, the minimum wage rate is, you can tell exactly how many hours that
Yeah.
is just by.
yeah, if
doing
you just
that.
send that to me
I
when you get a
will. I'll
chance,
be
I
happy to.
appreciate it. I think
Absolutely.
this is just outstanding, probably one of the best programs we've ever, been involved in.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
I would like to say, I worked for the Department of Corrections a number of years. Used to do ditch work, road work, brush cutting. Of course, this group is still doing all the brush cutting and weeding and stuff. And I'm like that, I just echo pretty well what he said. It's an outstanding program. It's saving the county money. And out of 4 out tax dollars can go for something else. And I think the program we need to just continue, if anything, increase activity, which you can train them and get back on their feet to a normal life.
That's our goal. That's our goal. And one thing, today, $52.88 is the cost, thank you, Lonzo, that it costs to house one inmate per day at the regional jail. So just with us being open today, $1,903. That's what we saved just today, just by coming to work. From all those people, 36 people we have not being in jail. So, I mean, it's pretty amazing.
Our Some of the workforce people using the recovery houses.
They are.
If you had more housing facilities, could you?
I think our problem recently, of course, COVID hurt us a few years ago, but then the way the judicial system, there's different guidelines that the courts have to follow, and that's hurt us a lot, but we're finally getting built back up. As a matter of fact, the Commonwealth Attorney's Office, Mindy Mullins is here, she has helped us in doubling our drug court numbers. We have 16 people in drug court right now, which is a record for Russell County. We've never had that many people in drug court.
That's awesome.
So, and that's thanks to Mindy for doing that, so.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So our goal is, you know, I swear I wasn't gonna ask for nothing when I came here, but if we get a lot more numbers, we'll need another part-time person. Because all of us, we're right where we could be right now. But if we can get more people, we may need another part-time person to do another work crew and things like that, or another vehicle or something at some point to transport these guys.
Looking at the returns on the program, I think the more people we can serve,
I think so too.
whatever the investment is.
That's,
I will, I appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms.
thank you so much.
Wonderful job.
Thank you.
All of you.
Next on our agenda is new business. So this is going to be the approval of the minutes from August the 7th.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the August 7th minutes. Any further discussion? I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Next, moving along in our new business is the approval of expenditures.
Chair, I'll make a motion to approve the expenditures as presented.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion on the expenditures? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, we're moving along to committee appointments for board consideration. Some of that is in your packet. If you want to consider anyone for this board. Also, we do have a letter in there from Southwest Community College for the local college advisory board. Catherine Easton has resigned, leaving 2 years left on her term. And also, Mr. Hillman is, his appointment is up. So do you want to look at filling that this evening, or do you all?
I'd like to pass Catherine Easton's, they moved away, they moved
Yes,
to
sir.
Charlottesville. And she was one person the community college asked for. So maybe we could table that one until next month.
That would be fine. I would allow that. And also on Mr. Hillman, has anybody talked to Mr. Hillman and he's okay? Because they have asked for him, I think that letter
Do we
did.
need a motion?
You will need a motion to put Mr. Hillman back on there.
Before I make the motion for Mr. Hillman, I would like to make a recommendation to the board to consider Dr. Hooker to fill that position. Catherine Easton, one of the reasons why is because of the race program, and also because of the connection with our local school system. I haven't had a chance to talk to Dr. Hooker about this yet, so I'm not trying to throw her under the bus, but I'm just thinking from that standpoint, to have that communication and direct contact with the college, with our local school system and the programs that we've initiated. Maybe Tim, if you could mention to her, and I will try to, and I appreciate that, but I'd like to make a motion that we reappoint Mr. Hillman.
Second.
I have a motion and a second for Randall Hillman's reappointment to the local college advisory board. Any further discussions or any other motions? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor? Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries.
Madam Chair, I'm not opposed to Dr. Hooker if she's willing to take.
I'd like to go ahead and make a motion
Well,
to do it and then
We'll
let
let Tim,
let
I
her.
asked, because she made, she
whatever,
was.
you know, ask her if she would be willing to do.
I mean, she can always
She can
say
always
that
talk
she
to
don't after
Dr.
we
Wright
throw her under
and
the
see what,
bus.
you know, kind of time commitment she has.
I'd like to go ahead and make a motion that
But I
we
think,
appoint Dr.
David,
Hooker.
I think she already serves by being some kind of superintendent. they have a group. But
But
let's
not
check
on the board.
first. Let's check first.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I think.
Okay,
If she's good with it, I'm.
I'll rescind it until then.
Okay.
You talk to her.
Okay, so we know that this board can continue to function with Ms. Easton absent in this position, and I do agree that we do need someone of superior qualifications that represent our educational system, and I think that is a very
Do
good.
they meet quarterly, Steve? Isn't that what they
Yes,
do?
ma'am.
I think they meet quarterly.
So this board meets quarterly.
Uh-huh.
Well, moving along to the Russell County Public Service Authority, Thomas Tigner, his 4-year term is up in 2027. What is that doing back on there?
That's a misprint. I
Thank
think it should be 2023. Right?
Yeah, his term goes until 2027
Oh, the
because
new term would-
new term will go that because he was tabled, and now he's back.
Thank you.
And now the PSA has
I
requested
have that
his.
marked in my
Yes.
other book, so okay, I'm using another
That was,
agenda.
that was when his term will officially.
That is
end.
correct. Mr. Lovelace?
Yes, I would like to nominate Tommy Tigner to serve another 4 years on the Russell County PSA.
I have a motion for Mr. Tigner on the PSA. I need a second.
I'll second it.
I got a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Next, we're moving along to the Southwest Virginia Alcohol Safety Action Program. That is currently, Zach Stutz has that seat for a 3-year term.
I'll make a motion to reappoint Zach.
Second.
I have a motion and a second for reappointment of Zach Stutz to the Alcohol Safety Action Program. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you very much. That takes care of the citizen board appointments for this term. Next, we're moving on to the public comment period. And I do have a list of at least 2 folks currently now for public comment, and that was Charlie, so I'm going to mark him off because he's already been here for a presentation. And now I have Mr. Hugh O'Donnell, and Mr. O'Donnell, I will ask that you hold it to 3 minutes, please.
I don't know that that's enough to give me time. I'll do my best.
Thank you.
As you know, I was here once before in June, and I'm here on behalf of El Palenque Restaurant. The owner, one of the 2 sisters is on it, Miss Onate Stan. And not only did I show up, I also wrote a letter to every one of y'all, and I didn't hear a word. The word I've got is nothing's going to happen on that. And that, I wonder how that works, because we started out this session tonight with the Pledge of Allegiance. And one of the parts of the Pledge of Allegiance, which I like particularly, is the claim that we have justice, liberty, and justice for all. Justice is normally interpreted as people being treated equally when they're in equal situations. The situation that we had in connection not just with El Palenque, but also with convenience stores in unincorporated areas. There's one in Castlewood. There's one in Hansonville that we're aware of. They are under a restriction that doesn't exist in Lebanon and other incorporated areas. And that's not just. It's unfair. And it causes practical difficulties in terms of what businesses try to do, which is to make money to support their staff. The staff at El Palenque consists of 11 people. The business has been there for 14 years. There's not been a single incident requiring the police to show up or any other thing. And yet, on Sunday, drinking or selling beer or wine is absolutely forbidden because of this ordinance that was enacted before I was born, which is ancient. It was 1945. Now the question is, why should an ordinance that allows for such distinctions still be in play in 2023? That's the questions y'all could answer by repealing the ordinance. It would be a simple step. I had talked with Ms. Fernate's husband today, and he told me that in the fall season, it's a particularly busy day. Sunday is busy because people like to come and watch football. And they like, if they have their meals, they like to have beer. That's typical, that's an American tradition. In Lebanon, they can do that, but not in the unincorporated area of Russell County. El Palenque is 2.3 miles from a restaurant in St. Paul, where I live, and that restaurant can sell beer on Sunday. It doesn't make sense that an ordinance in 1945 is still in effect. And nobody has told me why it is important to keep it. So I would like to ask you all for some public comment. Tell me why it's important to do this. I can't think of one. And I think it raises serious questions of just ordinary justice. Ms. Onate's husband, he said that it was Labor Day weekend. That's the time when people go on holidays. They go on, the ATV is a big deal around St. Paul, as y'all know, and throughout Southwest Virginia. He had families, and people come in, and families also. El Palenque, if you've ever been there, is a family restaurant. It's run by a family, and families eat there all the time. And they eat there on Sunday. And nobody has said why this thing needs to continue. What her husband said was, these people who had been out ATVing, or however you use the word, they'd had a good time and they were coming down, and they sat down and they put the sauce on the table with the chips. And when they learned that they couldn't get beer on Sunday with their meal, they got up and left. And it caused a significant decline in income. Plus, they were from Abingdon, they were from other places. And they're going to go back and say, if you want to go to Russell County, you have to be careful. They have restaurants there that don't serve beer on Sunday, except in Lebanon and maybe other incorporated places. So all of it, I don't know how to get on the agenda, I don't know why. But I would like to have the courtesy of somebody explaining why y'all think that this ordinance needs to stay. What's just about it? I can't think of it. No answer.
Thank you, Mr. McDonald.
I asked a question, did I get an answer?
No, sir.
Could you call the roll?
No, sir.
Do you know the reason? What's the reason?
Mr. O'Donnell, we don't have public comment. We don't have conversation between each other and public comment, so appreciate
You do have conversation. Well, there is justice and there's injustice, and I hope that this gets remedied at some point.
Thank you, Mr.
I will tell you, there are 400 and something signatures already collected for this injustice. And since people maybe need to know that, the information that I got was incorrect, by the way. The correct information, you measure the votes, you have to get 10% of the votes at the beginning of the term, not currently. And that goal has been met. But more simply, you
Mr.
can
O'Donnell.
save an expenditure of time for a referendum just by repealing it. And nobody's going to care.
Our attorney has been taking care of that. You were in touch with Ms. Patton.
She has not said a word to me. I don't know what you mean by taking care of it.
Thank you, Mr. O'Donnell. We appreciate you
Well,
coming.
you said something. I asked a question.
Thank you,
How did she
Mr.
take care
O'Donnell.
of it?
Thank you, Mr. O'Donnell.
You're not welcome. I don't feel welcome.
Next on our agenda is the county attorney reports and requests, and Ms. Patton is clearly absent tonight. And so next we'll move along to the county administrator reports and requests. Mr. Lester.
Thank you, Madam Chair. First on the county administrator reports and requests, of course, everybody knows this election year. This is so surprise, surprise. So the Virginia Department of Election, this is for the board's information. There has been some what we call pre-inspection polling on the precincts before to make sure that between to make sure there's good access, security, ADA compliant, and this is a new change, and you all seen it in the packet, and it's pretty extensive on what they're looking for. So, and it is, as you go through it, it is setting the, to make sure that each precinct is uniform and complies. One is as just like the other, is meeting each one of these benchmarks and each one of these security. So, and I know that in the past, during the election time, there was issues about maybe a parking place, but also there was issues about security, make sure that everybody has, a timely access, the doors are there, communication, et cetera, et cetera. So these things have been put in place by, Governor Youngkin. So now that we are implementing these, the electoral board, in conjunction with the county building official, will be visiting each site. They both will be signing off on these simultaneously, which we have to report back to the Virginia Board of Elections. So that'll be the process. As we go through each one, I will give, and upon conclusion, I'll make sure that the board has got the findings of each precinct within your districts to make sure that we've got all these punch lists done. So,
Mr. Lester, I have a comment.
yes, sir.
I had some people, I ran into them somewhere, and they'd mentioned they're actually in Carl's district, and said that they had voted at the precinct down at the ballpark in the Glade for years and years and years, and all of a sudden they got relocated and wanted to know if we had changed the boundaries. And I told them, no, I didn't think we changed the boundaries at all. And then I did. I'm just trying to make this public. And then I talked to Mr. Lester and found out that the electoral board assigns where you vote. So they're still within Carl's district, but they're moving people to a different voting precinct. And you told me that's to try to maintain relatively equal numbers.
Equal share in each precinct.
Yeah.
That way
So if you run into that question with somebody, that's the answer.
And just to add on what Mr. Breeding has conveyed, we do get these, especially around the jurisdictions of the towns and in each one of the precincts. You got me live? Yeah. Especially on issues around jurisdictions, because some of those had changed. I've talked to Mr. Breeding, I've talked to Mr. Eaton about it, especially down in the town of Homeacre. What I'm going to tell everybody out there that's listening, I hope they put it in the paper, contact the electoral board. They have got your name, they got your location, and you may have shifted, but make your vote count. Just find out where it is. But they're moving the numbers because under the code, Virginia, you have to balance them out as a minimum of 200 between each one of the precincts to make all the things work, but you will still be voting in the same district. They're just trying to make the numbers match. So, but she will be able to tell you immediately what, how to vote, where to vote, and when to vote.
One alternative to that would be early voting, right?
Yes, early voting.
Yeah.
That opens up too, so.
Which is at the electoral
Electoral
board's
board,
office.
yes.
Starting November, or September
September.
27th.
27th, yes. And early voting, let me convey onto that too, it's just as a side note. Of course, we're having construction on the courthouse. Kind of right now, and the day before, we're starting to put up signs. We're making signs right now to make sure that that parking lot, as anybody knows, and the rest of the community that's listening, that whole parking lot is only going to be designated and signed and restricted and coned for early voting only. So, yes, it does. And we're already working on all that, so we're putting that in place, along with the electoral board. That's part of the changes. Next on the county administrator reports is the Virginia, this comes in with what Missy had been talking about, the Virginia Opiate Abatement Authority. This is their workshop that's on Thursday, this Thursday. Mr. Breeding, Ms. Dye, and myself are going to be attending this. This is a workshop for the OAA because actually these opiate authority funds, and just to emphasize if anybody has forgotten, Ross County will be receiving these for 20 years. So, so we've got to get a look at it, at what programs we want to participate, the board does, and how we can help the community with problems like this, and it has to be totally dedicated to, recovery. So, Mr. Breeding, Ms. Dye is going to be attending that along with myself and along with the rest of the region.
I have a quick question.
Yes, sir.
County Administrator, can you find out if part of that money could be used for the Missy's programs? You mentioned about hiring a part-time and their vehicle and can you ask the questions over there that day?
We can.
With that program, if that's something that we can utilize that money for, I say let's go ahead and do it and get her the resources she needs to have additional supervision.
That's a good thought.
And a vehicle.
That's a good thought. And another thing too, they're in the infancy stage of this program. So the state of Virginia, as well as the board members know, that some things are included. They don't know all that they can do yet, if that makes sense. They've got the money, and some of the municipalities are not expending anything because they don't know what to do with the money. So, of course, the board has conveyed, funds to the recovery houses. That's something. And then we've had a speaker to the kids, and we've looked at Narcan. So we're moving along with ours, along with, other agencies and other nonprofits. But this thing is going to expand over the 20-year period. Beyond, they're going to finally get a good model for it. But right now, this is good training. Next on the county administrator reports is the VDOT monthly road system report. So that is what it is. So I take a look at that. If you have any comments, just let me know, and I'll let VDOT know. Next on the county administrator request is the board of supervisors. We got a $25,000 grant from VECITA, Virginia Economic Co-Development Authority, to do a feasibility study for the Lower Bed Lake. I would like to have a motion to award the feasibility study contract to Thompson Litton.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to award the RFP to Thompson and Litton for the Laurel Bed Lake. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Mr. Laster?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Next is another grant. This is on, this is from the Wellspring Foundation for the Dane Steam Building Renovation Project Engineering. So I would like to have a motion for award to, for the request for proposals on the Dane Steam Building Renovation Project to Dialogue and Design Associates out of Blacksburg.
So
Make
moved.
that motion.
Thank you, gentlemen. I have two motions and I'll offer a second.
I'll second.
Grant money comes in quick.
Any further discussion? I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you.
And next on the county administrator reports is, of course, one of the issues that the county is going to be facing since, the IDA has spoken about it with the Bush building. It is going to be soon opening up this month. They'll be doing the closing on that business. And, of course, Pure Salmon's back on track. Is this Cumberland Plateau Housing Authority. They're asking for payments in lieu of taxes for the Piston Place and payment in lieu of taxes for the HUD developments, both 6 and 7. So I'll need a motion on both.
This is something we traditionally do.
This is a traditionally do.
I'll make that motion.
We've done this for everything ever since I've
I'll
got the
second
motion.
it.
I have a motion and a second for payment in lieu of taxes for Pittston Place. Any further discussion?
And HUD development. And the HUD development.
I'm sorry. And the
6 and
HUD
7.
developments, I
And the
apologize.
And the HUD development, yes.
Included that, Mr. Breeding, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, we're all clear on that. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Next is, of course, disposal truck sale and auction. This is our program that we have in place and had in place since we took over the disposal operations. I'm asking for a motion to sell and auction off the disposal truck that we just replaced at an auction. This program, we buy it under state contracts, so we usually make at what we've used, pay for it over a 2-year period or make a premium of it. So right now with the cost of trucks, especially on the line, we expect to bring in more than we paid for it 2 years ago. So I need a motion to put it up on the block for the auction sale in September.
I'll make the motion.
I have a motion. I need a second.
Second.
Thank you, gentlemen. I'll take 2. Any further discussion on this? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Mr. Lester.
The next one on the county administrator request is, of course, I hate to point it out, but if you'll look how long we keep our vehicles. I've got 2 that's on surplus. We're notorious for making things work. We don't buy only what we need. So I've got a motion to surplus a 2002 Ford pickup and a 2000 Freightliner. So I need a motion to put both of those up on surplus.
I'll make that
for sale.
motion.
I have a motion. I need a second.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Next on the county administrator request is the Governor's Tourism Summit. The tourism coordinator is a travel request to attend the summit.
I'll make that motion.
I have a motion. I need a second.
I'll second.
I've got 2 seconds. I'll take either one. Any further discussion on the Tourism Summit travel? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries.
Next on the county administrator request is planning commission plats. As you've seen in your packet, I have 2 boundary line adjustments on 2 pieces of property. I need a motion for the approval of the planning commission plats.
Anybody got a motion on that?
I'll make that motion.
Mr. Christian, thank you very much. I need a second. Planning Commission plats, approval.
I'll second that motion.
Thank you, Mr. Breeding. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you.
Next on the county administrator request is, that was added to the agenda, is the 2023 Comprehensive Community Planning Grant for the community of Dane. As you can see in the letter, this is a request by the board for a $60,000 for the Dane community to the Cumberland Plateau Planning District for $60,000 to do a planning grant that with no county share. So from Department of Housing and Community Development, I need a motion and on my request for approval.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it. Any further discussion? I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you.
Madam Chair, that concludes the county administrator reports and requests.
At this time, we're looking at board discussions and reminders. Mr. Lovelace,
I have none.
Mr. Ray,
I have none.
Mr. Eaton.
Just want everybody to remember the fair that's going on this week. Looks like they're having some pretty big attendance, so want everybody to come out and support our Russell County Fair.
Mr. Breeding.
Nothing really other than I'd just like to make a comment about Mr. O'Donnell's presentation. I don't think personally, I'm not opposed to looking at that ordinance, but if we do that, it's only right that we would have a public hearing. I don't think it's as simple as what he indicates, just to invalidate that ordinance. You know, I think we would have to have a public hearing. So I'm just throwing that out there. You know, and I understand he wanted a response, but our public comment period doesn't allow that for anyone.
Thank you, Mr. Breeding, for those comments. We do agree. Ms. Dye.
No, just something that's come up, and as all of you know, that I am a retired teacher. I can't believe 10 years has gone by. But I would like for us to look into sending letters or have Katie draft something for us with Lonzo's help to send to our representatives and our senators that we need to help our teachers and our school personnel and folks to help bring up those salaries and to help renovate buildings, buses. The entire school system just kind of needs a good looking at. And any agency that, because right now is when we need to start talking to them. We can't wait till the spring to say, well, think about putting us in your agenda and looking at your budget. And I do know that they have said that they need to look at how they allocate money. It is a antiquated system, so I'd like for us to see what we can do for our public citizens here, our folks in the school systems.
Thank you, Ms. Dye. I think we all agree here. Mr. Christian, you got anything you want to say?
I have been confronted with a number of people that's asking me questions, why don't we recycle aluminum and plastics and things? I said, I guess it got too expensive. I said, I do not know the answer, but I'll bring it before the board tonight. I told them, days in the past and all. So, anybody have an answer to that question?
Recycling,
We don't
plastics,
recycle aluminum.
paper, aluminum. I don't have the answer to that either. Wise County did away with it. It was too expensive to recycle, I think.
It is. We do what? We recycle because each, both Carl and Tim, Mr. Lovelace and Mr. Ray, sorry, is both on the Waste Management Authority, and each county has to do a 25% recyclable by law by the feds, so we got to do it. We do work in conjunction with a private entity that's to the side. We do cardboard what we can and economically make it feasible to them. Some of these things that you can't get enough waste. It would cost, I could get a whole disposal can full of milk cartons, but there's no way. They're just not taken. We can collect them, but nobody is willing to take them. So we're kind of stuck into a bottleneck. But we are recycling everything that we can or convey back out to the private entity that can make money. And Tim, Mr. Lovelace, Mr. Ray, they get a monthly report on what is being recycled, what type of materials, and we are recycling. But some things it's just not economically feasible.
Well, I told someone it might even require the hire an additional employee to help take care of it. I didn't know it. I just didn't know. I just had to find out.
We can get enough volume to make the money on it. I mean, we just don't. We'd love to. We've thought about it. Mr. Eaton has looked at taking plat. We looked at these and we tried to. We can give it away. They just won't even think, you can't give it away. You can't haul it to it and give it to them. They won't take it. So,
We don't have any containers for the can, pop cans, anything like that as of right now.
no, we do not.
I didn't know,
No, we
I
don't.
didn't think about it.
No, we do. Not designated cans. But if it ever gets to where it becomes more economically feasible at a time, if, aluminum goes up, paper goes up, but right now in the market, nobody's moving it either in the private sector or the public sector.
Thank you, Mr. Christian. You got anything else? Is that it? Okay. And the chair has nothing else to say other than I'm with Mr. Eaton. Please support our local fair, county fair. It is the single largest event in our county, and it brings in a whole lot of visitors. And we're very proud to say that it does have a lot of folks visiting. So thank you very much. At this time, I will adjourn the meeting of the Russell County Board of Supervisors September meeting. Our next meeting date, Mr. Lester.
October 2nd.
Thank you very much. See you in October.